Welcome to my daily watercolor practice video. We are on day 10. In these videos I practice something new every day with watercolor, and I'm focusing on improving my skills. So for example, yesterday we were practicing cling film, using cling film. Then the day before was wet on dry. I have lots of different kind of exercises like that, I guess. But today is going to be a little bit different because today I will focus on inspiration. Now I did that last week. Last week inspiration was I was trying different supplies that I don't normally use. But today I'm just going to ask myself questions. It's going to be more about feelings and things that I love, things that inspire me when it comes to watercolor techniques, colors and things like that. So this is a mess that I did yesterday when I was doing this. Made a bit of a mess. I'm very messy. Anyway, these videos are very kind of like real. I don't really edit much, so you can see all the mess and mistakes I make as well. But let's start with this video. I will start with first writing down my favorite colors. I'm just wetting my palette. So I will just swatch the colors, literally, just to kind of, I'm just asking myself what it is that I like about watercolor. So let's start with what colors I like. My favorite colors are lemon yellow, although my lemon yellow is usually a little bit green because I tend to mess it up with other colors. But yeah, I really like lemon yellow. Then permanent rose. And either phthalo blue or Windsor blue. I will actually put Windsor blue this time, I think, because I've been using it quite a lot lately. So let's just go with the Windsor blue. So then I'll write down the colors under this. Then I will ask myself what techniques I like. So I definitely love using salt in watercolor. So I'll just do a little swatch. Let's just use Windsor blue for this as well, because I really like how Windsor blue turns out when you add salt. Maybe a little bit darker. So I'm just kind of writing all this down and just putting it in one place, because I feel like if on a day when I'm not really feeling that inspired, just looking back at this page could give me some inspiration, you know. Sometimes just a simple prompt, something just can trigger something in your brain and give you some ideas. So I do find it useful. I do find it diving into what I like, why I like. I think it's worth thinking about that. I'm just making this swatch so that I can use some cling film on it, because I was going to mention that since yesterday, I never used to like cling film that much. I always thought it's a bit quite overpowering technique, but yesterday, let's just tell it a little bit. Yesterday I shaped it a bit. I started like using it a little bit different. I was testing it and I actually kind of fell in love with it yesterday. So I'm going to add it because it seems like I really like adding textures in watercolor. Should I try to? What I did yesterday, I was trying to like make lines with the cling film, and I really liked how it turned out for like a water thing. So yeah, I hope you kind of join me and do something like this as well. Ask yourself what colors you like, what techniques, and I'm going to have to let this dry. But once it does, I will just add maybe some. I'll also ask myself what I love, and I'll just write all these things down. So things like, I don't know, what do you like to do as a child? You can literally just list it, write it down. For example, I like playing piano. I like ice skating. You know, I like winter, things like that. So once all this dries, I'll be back and we'll try to do some more exercises. Okay, so while this was drying, I wrote down things that I love. So things I like doing, just generally things that, yeah, things from your childhood, things like that. And then painting styles I love as well. But before we move on to that, I just want to add another technique. It's using pen and wash. So I'm just going to paint a little flower, then add some pen to it. But yeah, I basically want to kind of encourage you to do something like this for yourself. I'm just going to do a bit of an ugly painting because I'm in a rush, so I will let everything bleed. So please ignore that. This is more to kind of just show me the idea rather than for me to feel like I've created something pretty. So I don't really care how it turns out. I'm not even really paying attention to how I'm painting it. Let's just leave it at that. And another thing when it comes to like techniques and stuff like that, I really like painting loose as well. So for example, if I do some sort of blob, maybe I'll add some color to it, and then I like, for example, softening the edge and letting it kind of trail off. Now this became a little bit too wet, too blobby, but yeah, this is just basically to illustrate that I like loose and uncontrolled washes and stuff like that. And I do want to kind of have some ideas for what I like about surrealism, if I'm saying it right. I have this painting in mind. I will actually draw it because painting it would take ages. But I have this thing about like a tree and replacing the leaves with something else. And I especially have this obsession with turning them into eyes. It's just one of my early kind of weird ideas. I guess I haven't never really painted it in a way I liked. I did a few versions, but I never really made one that I really like. And it just lives rent free in my head. I think I'm just gonna have to paint it. It's a little hard to sketch, but just to illustrate what it is, kind of I like, basically. I know it seems a bit of a silly exercise, like what's the point? But I have a feeling that if I go back to this page, especially when I'm like feeling maybe uninspired or not sure what to paint, feeling a bit down, my self-critic voice is strong. If I go back to it, then I hope it will kind of remind me why I love painting. Another thing about surrealism, another thing that I have in my head that kind of I can't shake off is reversing, like painting something the color it isn't. So for example, I've been painting trees that are basically not green, or just, they have these weird colors. So I'm just going to do a tree. It's this unusual color. I have a thing for trees. Seems like, especially when it comes to this. I generally love nature, that's why I wrote it down. Okay, so I'm just going to add a trunk. What kind of trunk can I do? Pink? I think pink is good. Let's do pink. Because it's kind of like, I'm thinking maybe not reverse to brown, but something that's definitely not brown. So I'm thinking something vibrant. So yeah, that's basically it, I feel. I am kind of a little bit not in the rush, but I'm just kind of, even though I like this idea, I feel like my head is basically thinking about a barbecue that we're going to have. So I'm kind of finishing a little bit, this is a very rushed video. I know I'm umming a lot. I know it can be a bit annoying, but I think it's important that I show the rough, unedited version. I show something that's very almost ugly because I do think that honesty is important, especially when we're surrounded by this perfect Instagram world of paintings and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to show you my messy head. But also I want to encourage you to do these daily exercises because I find them so helpful. And what is especially helpful that is that, like today, I was a little bit like, oh, I kind of don't really want to do it. I want to go have a barbecue. But at the same time, no matter how I feel, I do it daily. Unless I'm sick or something. I've only been doing it for like, this is day 10, so obviously it's not a long track record yet. But it's just, I get to paint. I paint every day because I have a prompt that I follow and I have no excuses. And in the past, I kind of needed an idea to paint. I needed a reason to paint. And now this is the reason. I need to sit down and paint, even if it's 5-10 minutes. And I really find them helpful because I also try different things. Okay, enough rambling on. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you do something like this for yourself. And yeah, like it's lovely to get inspired by things that are actually in our head rather than from someone else's influence and by looking at someone else's paintings. I'm sure you have lots of inspiration in your experiences, in your head. Enough rambling. I hopefully will see you in the next one. I will link the playlist for the other exercises I've done at the end of this video. So happy painting and hopefully see you in the next one.